Hi, welcome to my markets update for the week. It's John Bannon here from Comotech.com. How are you all doing today? Before we get to the news, a quick update on the system. I mentioned last week we were long in the market, and we've been long for a while, quite a while. We finally exited the trend this week. What a monster win that was. Absolute cracker right before Christmas, right? So hopefully there's more on the way. We surged a new equity peak, which is great. So anyone following that forecast probably did the same. So congratulations to all that took advantage of that particular forecast. That was a doozy. That was a really, really great trade. In fact, it was the best trade for the year so far. We've had some really good ones, but that was the best trade of the year. Could be the best trade all year. Maybe we'll get one better coming. We'll have to wait and see. We were pretty bullish towards the end of the year, so we'll see what happens. There's still time left to get to the end of 2021. December is typically quite a bullish month. So we're expecting more, especially with all this infrastructure and all the money pouring in from the government, which we're going to talk about. So that was it. That's the end to my system update, amazing system update. So congratulations to everyone. So what happened in the market itself? What was the news? The infrastructure bill was passed last week. It was signed on Monday. So, potholes have officially gone on notice that the infrastructure bill is here to stay, and people are going to now it's now going to be pushed through, and they're spending $1.2 trillion, not billion dollars, $1.2 trillion on bridges, roads, and different things like that. So there's a lot of money coming through, and that is over the next 5 years, basically. So it's a huge pump into the economy from the government on infrastructure stuff. But they're not just done there. Oh no, they've got more to come. Today the House passed the Build Back Better, the Triple B bill. This is a gigantic package as well. On top of the 1.2 trillion, this is 1.75 trillion. It was supported by the Democrats, opposed, not surprisingly, by the Republicans. This extra package that's been put forward is for education, healthcare, and fighting climate change and things like that. So that's what's coming through there. Other piece of news. It was kind of delayed for a little bit because the CBO is a non-partisan body. That's the Congressional Budget Office. They're non-partisan, so they're not affiliated with any particular party, and they were crunching the numbers, looking at the bill itself and see how can they possibly afford to put this kind of money on the table. They did come back, and it was very positive news for the Democrats because there was a shortfall of $367 billion, which is fairly small considering the size of the money that's been put out there. However, the CBO did leave out one particular piece of it, and that is the money that's been pumped into the IRS to increase their taxation. And the Treasury Department thinks that they can with the IRS cracking down, they can bring at least $400 billion in revenue into the coffers. So covering that deficit hole. So there's an expectation they're going to do that. So it's now got to head over to the Senate, where the Democrats have still a razor-thin majority there, so expected to go through. I'm sure there'll be some Sharpies on the go, right, in terms of crossing things out and changing a few things here and there. But for the most part, I don't think there's going to be wholesale changes to this, and it probably will get pushed through because of that Democratic majority. So that should go through fairly soon. Over the weekend, we got news from the deal from the COP26 in Glasgow. The ministers have sent a signal on a shift away from the world's dirtiest fuel, and that is coal, with calling for efforts to phase down, in particular, subsidies for fossil fuels and coal in particular. The ultimate goal was to limit global warming to no more than 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels. That is their mandate for this particular meeting. And that is what people are saying. The scientists are saying is absolutely key in terms of not having us all boiled to death, right? So, climate talks, they have agreed to strengthen their countries together have agreed to strengthen their 2030 emission cutting targets, and they have to put them forth. They all agreed to put them forth by the end of next year. So, the idea is to phase out coal completely now. I shouldn't say phase out because China and India did change the language to phase down rather than phase out. They felt that was an important change for them. Not everyone agreed with that, but they got the deal done. And it is a positive step by the world leaders because it's the first explicit mention of fossil fuels being cut in a UN climate agreement. So it is progress at least, right? And progress indeed. Another news, talking about energy, gas prices are out of control. I was filling the car up this morning. I was like, what? It's just out of control, right? President Biden has asked the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Committee, to investigate potential anti-consumer behaviour by the energy companies. So can't really blame them there. Because even this week, looking at the prices of oil and things are coming down, and that's the commodities that are going into to make gasoline. All the different commodities going to make gasoline itself, before it gets refined, and the price of gasoline is not coming down, even though the commodities are coming down right now. I think they're down I think oil's down 4% this week, so big move down for oil. But we're not going to see that in the gas pumps for a little while, if at all. And the concern from Biden is that that we have to get this under control, because he did ask OPEC to increase production last month, but they have declined to do that, and they're going to stick with their plan because they are a law unto themselves, and that would have managed to possibly bring down the cost of more supply means bring down the cost of energy. But they have declined to do that, and gas prices have surged 60% from a year ago. So it's getting a little out of control. I mean, it's a 7-year high on gasoline prices. So, and Biden was really underscoring this problem by saying that Exxon and Chevron, the two biggest gasoline companies, are on track to nearly double their profits since 2019. They're gigantic companies, and they're now doubling their profits since 2019. So that is a real thorn in the side of the government. It's like, what the hell is going on here? So we certainly get his point. So go Biden on that one. Hopefully he'll squeeze those gasoline companies a little bit and stop taking so much profit. Another interesting news: Walmart planned ahead to stock up this year, and they're getting ready for Christmas. They have got 11.5% more inventory than they had last year, and that is really quite impressive considering in the face of the well-documented supply chain bottlenecks that are out there. Last month shipments from Asia and took twice as long and cost twice as much as pre-pandemic levels. So the clever people, not only just running Walmart but Home Depot and Costco as well, got around the bottlenecks by paying for chartered ships. So they were doing this since early as May, chartering ships just for their companies and to get their shelves stocked. And each ship cost up something like $140,000. But we need your stuff, right? And the guys really got ahead of the game there. So, in fact, Home Depot reported stronger than expected sales partly because of their inventory management around these chartering these ships. So fair play to them, right? And with the US holidays expected to hit a record $800 billion plus this season, it's great news for retailers that go ahead of the game, but obviously not so great news for the retailers that don't have that kind of economy of scale of these gigantic companies, big box stores, and those smart people at Walmart, right? So fair play to them. Tip your hat to them, getting ahead of the game. Lastly, a little fun fact here: did you know that 50% or over 50% there's an over 50% chance, actually, I should say, that you have an item of clothing that has a zipper on it that says YKK on the zipper itself. And that is because there was a Japanese company called YKK that produces over half the world's zippers, the little tags, right, that manage your zipper up and down. And they're an 80-year-old company. They've got over 70 factories worldwide, so they are the zipper company. If you need a little zipper tag, they are the guys you go to. So that's why they are now worldwide, and they have they've cornered most of the market when it comes to the zipper tags. So interesting, fun little fact for you. I bet you didn't know that. We were always wondering what YKK meant when you looked at it. It's like, why does it say YKK? I know I've looked at that and thought, what does YKK mean? And I never looked it up. Well, I just came across it this week, so there you go. That's it for me. It's the weekend, time to down tools. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.